Attention, Pi Network, pioneers. I'm about to reveal shocking data that shows exactly who's holding the massive Pi fortunes while millions of us are waiting for our breakthrough. In the next few minutes, I'll expose the Pi whale rich list that's been hidden from most pioneers, show you why one whale just bought nearly 500,000 Pi coins, and reveal what the Pi Foundation's $18 billion holding really means for your future. Don't you dare click away, because what I'm sharing today will completely change how you view your Pi investment and give you the insider knowledge that most pioneers don't have access to. Before we dive deep into these game-changing revelations, make sure you follow my Telegram and Facebook pages. The links are right there in the description below. That's where I share the most exclusive Pi Network updates, breaking news, and insider analysis that you won't find anywhere else. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on the daily updates that could make or break your Pi journey. While most pioneers have been losing hope and searches for Pi Network content have dropped dramatically, the smart money has been making moves that will shock you. The latest data from PiScan reveals something absolutely mind-blowing. There are Pi whales out there holding over 10 million Pi coins each, and we're talking about a combined value of at least $3.5 million at current prices. But here's the kicker that nobody's talking about. Only 22 wallets control these massive amounts, which means the ultra-rich are still betting big on Pi's future while regular pioneers are giving up. Let me break down this incredible rich list that shows exactly where all the Pi is going. At the very top we have the whales. These are the guys holding over 10 million Pi each, worth more than $3.5 million per wallet. Can you imagine having that much Pi? Then we have the sharks holding between 1 million to 10 million Pi, worth anywhere from $357,000 to $3.5 million. These sharks number almost 10,000 accounts, which tells us there's still serious money flowing into Pi Network, despite all the negativity you're hearing online. But wait, it gets even more interesting when you look at the dolphins, tunas, and fish categories. The dolphins are holding between 100,000 to 1 million Pi, worth $35,000 to $357,000 each. The tunas have 10,000 to 100,000 Pi, and the fish category includes those holding 1,000 to 10,000 Pi. What's fascinating is that over 224,000 pioneers fall into this fish category, showing that while they're not whales, they're still accumulating significant amounts compared to the masses. Now here's where it gets really crazy, and this might shock you. Over 13 million people, that's 84% of all Pi holders, are classified as microbes holding less than 10 Pi coins worth under $4 each. This massive disparity shows that while millions of pioneers are holding tiny amounts, the serious players are accumulating enormous positions. The question you should be asking yourself is, do these whales and sharks know something that the 13 million small holders don't? The biggest bombshell in all of this data is that the Pi Foundation itself remains the ultimate whale with an astronomical 52.2 billion Pi coins valued at over $18 billion. Think about this for a moment. If Pi was truly worthless or going nowhere, would the Foundation be holding on to such a massive position? This holding represents their absolute confidence in Pi's long-term success, and it should give every pioneer serious food for thought about their own strategy. What really caught my attention recently was a whale purchase that sent shockwaves through the Pi community. Just when everyone thought the big players were done with Pi, a whale stepped in and bought 441,549 Pi coins in a single transaction. This wasn't some small-time pioneer adding to their stack. This was a major player making a statement that Pi's future is still bright. When whales are buying while retail pioneers are selling, that's usually a strong signal that something big is coming. The Pi Network team clearly understands the psychology of their community right now. They recently made a bold statement that should get every pioneer excited. Pi is going to print the largest green candle in crypto history, hands down, and you will be proud you never gave up on Pi. Now that's not just marketing talk. That's a team putting their reputation on the line with a promise that could either make them legends or destroy their credibility forever. What's particularly interesting about the current market dynamics is that Pi recently hit $0.3577, marking a 3.5% increase from the previous week. On the surface, that might look like a modest gain, but for a token that has been largely stagnant for months, it's a welcome shift. Even small upticks can serve as an early sign that sentiment is starting to change. Investors who have been sitting on the sidelines may see this as confirmation that the market is trying to establish a new floor. Another angle worth noting is how this rise aligns with whale accumulation and the foundation's decision to keep holding significant reserves. Large players tend to move early, often positioning themselves before the retail traders catch on. When you see steady buying from addresses with substantial balances, it suggests that those with deeper pockets are anticipating more upside ahead. This kind of activity can be a leading indicator of renewed momentum, especially in an asset that's still finding its footing after a prolonged lull. Finally, the combination of price movement, whale activity, and continued institutional confidence points to an evolving narrative for PI. If this trend holds, it could attract a broader range of participants who have been waiting for signs of life before committing. That doesn't mean a breakout is guaranteed, but it does hint at improving market structure and growing interest beneath the surface. As always, the key will be whether volume and adoption can build on this initial spark, transforming it into a more sustainable rally. For those of you wondering whether you should keep believing in Pi Network or cut your losses, the data speaks louder than emotions. When 22 whales control over $3.5 million worth of Pi and the foundation holds $18 billion worth, these aren't gamblers throwing money around. These are calculated positions based on inside knowledge and long-term vision. The question isn't whether Pi will succeed, but whether you'll be positioned correctly when it happens. Here's what I want you to take away from today's analysis, and this could be the most important decision you make for your financial future. While 13 million pioneers are holding tiny amounts and losing hope, the whales are accumulating massive positions. While retail pioneers are reducing their searches and engagement with Pi content, the smart money is quietly building positions that will pay off tremendously when Pi reaches its full potential. The data shows a clear pattern. Those with the most information and resources are betting big on Pi Network's success. The foundation's $18 billion position, the whale accumulation, and the recent 441,549 Pi purchase all point to the same conclusion. The insiders know something that the general public doesn't fully grasp yet. If this deep dive into Pi's whale activity opened your eyes and gave you a completely new perspective on where we're headed, you know exactly what I need from you right now. Smash that like button to show me this analysis helped you see the bigger picture. Drop a comment below sharing your thoughts on these incredible whale holdings and what category you fall into. And make sure you hit that subscribe button with notifications turned on, because I'm bringing you more exclusive Pi Network insights that mainstream crypto channels simply won't cover. Remember, in the crypto world, information is the ultimate currency, and the pioneers who stay informed are the ones who build generational wealth. Don't forget to follow my Telegram and Facebook pages, linked in the description, for daily updates and exclusive analysis that could completely transform your Pi Network strategy. The pioneers who win big are always the ones who stay connected to the right information sources, and that's exactly what I'm building for this incredible community we have here.